whipping it, whipping it, whipping it, whipping it, whipping it, whipping it, whipping it. Yo, what is good with y'all boys? And today we better be ranking Star Wars: The Clone Wars seasons 1 through 7. And this is my favorite show. I like it more than any show or movie or anything like that. So yeah, let's just get right into it. Coming in at number 1, we got season 3. This season goes for it a lot. And there's a lot of horror episodes in this season. They might not be full-on horror, but there's like some horror aspects in it that I like. But like one of the arcs I like is the Clone Cadets arc. They're trying to learn to be clone ARC troopers, so that it's Fives and Jesse and all of them, right? I'm pretty sure that's who it is. There's this guy at the top who doesn't believe in them, and then there's the guy who does believe in them, and then there's Shaak Ti, who she's just the Jedi, and she just does what's right no matter what. And it's just a good little arc. And then you got Savage Opress origin story arc, where it's Count Dooku gets the transmission from Sidious that he's not allowed to have an apprentice anymore because he feels that Asajj is getting too powerful. So he said he's not allowed to have an apprentice anymore. So he called up Asajj and he's like, "You're no longer my apprentice." And she was pissed, so she went back home to Dathomir, to Mother Talzin. That was whenever Mother Talzin was like, "Alright, we'll get him a new apprentice, so we can stab him in the back and he'll be your apprentice the whole time." Yeah, great arc. You know, Savage Opress gets built from all that witchcraft and shit that they do from him. It's amazing. Like, you just see him, like, he's already like a strong dude and like all that shit, and then like Mother Talzin does all that magic to him and his horns get bigger and he gets way stronger and he just becomes a fucking monster. It's great. I love it. And then you got the Mortis arc, where they go to Mortis and they meet the father, the light side sister, and the dark side brother. Basically, it's just like the embodiment of the Force, which means that there has to be balance on their planet with the light side sister and the dark side brother. And yeah, like I said, he's the embodiment of the dark side, she's the embodiment of the light side. And like, there's a lot of things that they're both really powerful, and they both have their different kinds of powers. Like, he'll deceive you and stuff like that. And then she just is like an angel, basically. She's like, yeah. And then the father is the father. But yeah, and then they go on this planet, and they all just, like, the brother just fucks with all of them. Ahsoka, Obi-Wan, and Anakin. They all get fucked with by the brother. He shows up as Anakin's mom. He shows up as Qui-Gon. It's crazy. Like, he's just messing with all of them the whole time. And then he ended up biting Ahsoka, turning her to the dark side for a little bit because he infected her with the dark side or whatever whenever he bit her. Crazy. Great arc. If y'all have never seen the Mortis arc, you need to go check it out. And then you got the Citadel arc with where they're trying to go to the Citadel and free, I forgot his name. Is it Eth Koth, right? I think that's his name. They're freeing a Jedi from the Citadel, and then it's just a really fun arc. It's a prison break arc, Star Wars style, in the best way. I don't really have much to say about it. I'm not trying to make this too long. Padawan lost. Man, I love Trandoshans. I fucking love Trandoshans, and like, they're pretty creepy. Like, they're not like the scariest thing ever, but like, they're pretty creepy. Like, if you ran into a Trandoshan in real life, you'd be scared, bro. So like, yeah, but yeah, man, love how they kidnapped Ahsoka, hunted her for sport, and she ended up getting away with Chewbacca and all that stuff. They ended up working together and getting off the planet. Loved it. Alright, coming in at number 2, we got season 4. Season 4 is like really close with season 3. Sometimes season 4 I actually like more than season 2, or season 3, I mean. So but today season 4 is actually my number 2. It starts off with a pretty good arc. I think it's I like it because it's unique too. It's literally Star Wars underwater. It's about the war versus the Mon Calamari versus the Quarren, and it's just interesting. It's stuff that if you watch a lot of Star Wars, there's stuff that will come up about Mon Calamari versus Quarren, and then next you got the Umbara arc. The Umbara arc, everybody says, is like Vietnam in Star Wars, and yeah, it pretty much is like Vietnam in Star Wars. It's great. Pong Krell is, I fucking love Pong Krell. Like I hate whenever he backstabs all the clones and he makes them kill each other, and you find out that the clones were actually killing clones the whole time. I hate that, and you want to see him taken down, but he's such a good bad guy, and he's so interesting, and man, like, he's just, it's great. I love it. And then I'm not even gonna lie, I forgot the clone's name that was loyal to Pong Krell, and then Pong Krell turned around at the end whenever he ended up getting caught up, and he's like, "You're the biggest fool of them all. You ended up following me, being a traitor to your brothers, and you were following me, and I don't even care about you." And then he just kind of spit in his face. Pong Krell, man, he's a dick, but you gotta love him. Then next you got the Undercover Kenobi arc, where Obi-Wan Kenobi goes undercover as Rako Hardeen to try to infiltrate some crime syndicates like in the underworld and stuff like that, and he ends up finding out that the guy he was trying to infiltrate was actually with Cad Bane. And then it just got like way crazier because Cad Bane was like this is like a prison episode. Like, it's like the Citadel episode, but like you're actually in the prison. So like, and like, I swear it's crazy because with Obi-Wan and shit, like he's a G, so he ain't gonna let nobody fuck with him and stuff. And then like, there's a couple guys who try to G check him, and he like stabs him in the hand, and then like, it's great, man. And then there's the whole box episode, amazing. Next, you got the Ventress arc. Asajj Ventress is honestly one of my favorite Clone Wars characters. I love Asajj Ventress. It made you really sad whenever all of the Night Sisters died, because it was mainly Asajj that was like you felt sad because of her. Like, yeah, you feel sad because of all those people died, but like Asajj, like you actually like Asajj at this point. And then there's the whole episode where she meets Boba Fett and Bossk and their whole crew. It's great, man. And then they go on that the mission where they're getting the bounty, and then they ended up finding out that the person that they were protecting the whole time, or the package they were protecting the whole time, had a person in it, and it was the princess getting kidnapped for the king or whatever. So yeah, shit's crazy. Love it. And then at the end you got Brothers and Revenge arc, and it's just where Savage Opress finally finds Darth Maul, which is something I didn't even mention now that I think of it. That's like one of the main parts about season 3 anyway, is whenever you figure out that that Darth Maul is still alive, and Savage Opress is gonna go find him. But yeah, whenever he ends up finding him in season 4, he's on the trash planet, and he's got those spider legs or whatever, and he's gone crazy and shit, because like, you know, he's been like living a fucking lifestyle like you've never experienced in your life, eating scraps and shit, trash, down there in the fucking dark all day, barely drinking water and shit. He's crazy as shit, man. So Darth Maul, probably my favorite Star Wars character besides Savage Opress. So yeah, and then you got the brothers, the revenge arc, the revenge episode where he ends up finding Kenobi and fighting him, and Asajj Ventress comes to help Kenobi, which was fucking dope. That was like unexpected whenever you see it for the first time, and then you're just like, whoa, you know what I'm saying? Like it's dope, bro. And then coming in number 3, we got season 5. Um, the Ahsoka arc, of course, is like probably, honestly, my favorite arc. Like, if I could choose one arc right now, it's probably my favorite arc. It's probably the Ahsoka arc, because besides Savage and Darth Maul, my favorite character is Ahsoka. Um, so it starts out whenever they figure out that the Jedi Temple got bombed, and the whole time it's Barriss and you don't know it. But and they gave this guy that works in the hangar the nano droids, and he ate them, and they made him the bomb, and they figured that out it was a great episode. It was like they were investigating. I wish we would have got more episodes in the Clone Wars, because Jedi are smart, and they investigate stuff too. Like, they're like, it's like Batman. He investigates shit. That's why I love the new Batman movie. That's why I love this episode so much, because like they're investigating. And then the next episode, they end up like framing Ahsoka or whatever, right? And then they go on the run, and then Ahsoka ends up teaming up with Asajj Ventress. Well, meeting up with Asajj Ventress, and then they end up like teaming up for a second, and then Anakin sees him, and then, you know, it looks bad because they saw him. The Republic saw Ahsoka with Asajj Ventress, so it looks bad because, as far as everyone else knows, Asajj Ventress is just like a Sith assassin or some shit like that. So she's still a bad guy, which, yeah. So but yeah, it's just a great arc, and then the whole thing of whenever you figure out it's Barriss at the end, and Asajj Ventress, you know, helped crack the case. It just helps you like Asajj Ventress even more than you already did. It's amazing. Like, I swear, that's what I just love that. It's my favorite arc. Next, you got the Maul arc. The Maul arc, where I just call it the Maul arc right now because it's like he's on Mandalore, and he's taking over Mandalore, and this is the arc where he meets up with Death Watch, and Pre Vizsla is the leader of the Death Watch, and he has the Darksaber at the current time, and they take over the criminal underworld together, and then at the end of the arc, he ends up challenging Pre Vizsla, and most of you know this already, but Mandalorians are like really honorable people and shit. So if you challenge them, like, they have to fight you. And then also, he has the Darksaber, and like, if you beat the guy with the Darksaber, like, you're the leader if you have the Darksaber. So like, he ended up challenging Pre Vizsla for the Darksaber, and it was probably my favorite fight scene, one of them in all of Star Wars. Whenever he pulled up and he's like, I challenge you one-on-one, and only the strongest shall rule Mandalore, and they just like fucking whoop each other's ass for like the whole fucking like 2 minutes, or like it's like 2 or 3 minutes or some shit like that. But like, they're just like kicking the shit out of each other, and Darth Maul is just barely using the Force. Like, he just jumped one time to like even the playing field. But like, it's like probably my favorite fight, I mean. And Pre Vizsla ends up dying at the end, and like right before he died, like, he tried, man. He died a fucking warrior's death. And right before he died, he was sitting there, he's like you said, only the strongest shall rule, and he just fucking chops his head off, and you're just like, what the that boy went out like a G, bro. You're like, hey, bro, I don't want to die, bro, but if I ever die, like, I'm trying to go out like that, boy. Like, but like, for real though, like, that dude went out like a fucking, like a G. So yeah, Pre Vizsla, also one of my favorite characters, as you can see. Fucking love it. You got Episode 1 Revival with Maul 2, of course, where he finds Obi-Wan, and he has the rematch or whatever, and they run it back with Anakin, and it's a really great episode too. You know, it's just kind of the same shit with Revenge. They just kick the shit out of each other the whole episode. And then, of course, you got the Onderon arc, which is really good. Especially if you like Saw Gerrera. It's a good arc if you like Saw Gerrera and all those characters. So yeah, it's actually really sad. Whenever his sister died, bro. So Onderon arc is a really good arc. I enjoy it. Alright, coming in at number 4, we got season 1. Alright, so the Hostage Crisis. Really good episode. So yeah, like Cad Bane and them, they just came right into the fucking Jedi Temple. Anakin, luckily they got Anakin on his off day without his lightsaber, or else they wouldn't have probably got far. But like, still, it was interesting how they took away Anakin's lightsaber and they made that like a dynamic. I actually really enjoyed that about the episode. So I really like I was about to say Holocaust, the Hostage Crisis. Ryloth arc, you know, you get to see Chim Syndulla, Little Hera, and then it's just like an entertaining little arc. I'm gonna move on. I don't have much to say about it. It's not bad. I'm just not trying to drag the video on too long. And then you got the Traitor episode where Rex and Cody find the traitor. Really good episode. If you haven't seen it, go watch it. You got the Jedi Crash arc, where it's like 2-episode arc where they crash on the planet and they end up going, like, because Anakin is hurt, and they end up going to try to find medicine and stuff, and they find these like little people or whatever, I don't know what they're called, but they don't want any part of the war, and they're very peaceful people, very to themselves, very natural way of life. And like I said, they stick to themselves, and yeah, it's just kind of like an interesting arc. And then you got Dooku captured arc, where Count Dooku gets captured by the pirates of Florum and Hondo Ohnaka, and they lured in the Republic to lure in some Jedi, and they ended up kidnapping the Jedi to Anakin and Obi-Wan for ransom. And then they were, and Hondo's really smart too. You see in this episode, he's really smart. He knows what he's doing. I mean, you don't, when Hondo is honestly, he it's not that he's powerful. He'll swindle you. He's so smart. He can swindle anybody. So Hondo is also one of my favorite characters in Star Wars. Love Hondo. And then you got Lair of Grievous. Great, man. General Grievous is fucking cool, bro. So anything with General Grievous, and then you go into his lair. You got me. And then Kit Fisto. You got Kit Fisto, bro. You know how many episodes Kit Fisto is the head of? There's like 3 or 4, bro. Real talk. Like, Kit Fisto is in like episodes, but like he's not the head of too many episodes, bro. So yeah. And then you got the Cloak of Darkness, which is just like whenever Asajj Ventress goes on the ship, and Ahsoka and Master Illuminara are on the ship, and you know Barriss is Luminara's apprentice and all that stuff. It's just dope whenever you get to see Asajj Ventress versus Ahsoka, and then Ahsoka has like her little arc. Coming in at number 5 is season 7. Season 7 is pretty low on this list. A lot of people say season 7 is the best season. I don't disagree with you. I just don't like it as much as the other ones personally, and that's my opinion. You're valid to your own opinion. The Bad Batch arc, man. You know, where they go on to Naxxus and they just fuck shit up and they do it their own way. The Bad Batch, they're different from the other ones, but they get the job done. They're the best of the best. And if you're the best of the best at clones, you're pretty damn good. So yeah. And then you got the Martez sisters arc. I actually enjoyed the Martez sisters. I like their character. A lot of people don't, but I actually really like the Martez sisters, and I really enjoyed it. I don't know why everyone hated it so much. I liked going to see the Pikes and all that stuff. So going to Kessel to see the Pikes and all, it was great, man. Like, we got Spice. What more do you guys want? But and then you got Siege of Mandalore. What more do we want? What more do we want? It's amazing. Darth Maul versus Ahsoka. Who could have asked for more? And then Ahsoka saved Maul from dying whenever they were on the top and they were on those things tiptoeing and they were in the fight and he fell and she caught him. She actually saved him from dying, just like she captured him too, but like she saved him from dying too. And it was just one of the moments of like, like Ahsoka of course wasn't gonna let him die, but it was just like, oh man, she saved Maul. And then like it was just cool, like, and then she captured Maul and he's like, don't let me go, let me die or some shit, and he's like, you're all going to burn, because he knew what was going to happen with Sidious. And then the whole talk with Maul and Ahsoka about he knew what was going to happen with Order 66. Some of the greatest stuff in Star Wars, man. I love it. My biggest problem with this season is it's just there's not enough episodes. And then you got Order 66 stuff with Ahsoka on the ship and Rex, and it was so emotional. I'm not gonna lie, I cried whenever I first watched it. I didn't know if Rex was gonna kill Ahsoka, but regardless, it was so emotional watching Rex hold back a little bit. And then whenever Rex came back, whenever his inhibitor chip was removed, it was amazing. I love it. Coming in at number 6, we got Season 2. Season 2 is pretty good. I like all the seasons, like I said, and there's not an episode of the Clone Wars I don't like. You got the Holocron arc where Cad Bane goes back to the Jedi Temple because nobody can fuck with Cad Bane. If anybody can go in the Jedi Temple, it's Cad Bane, and I won't argue with it, alright? If anybody can go in the Jedi Temple twice, especially, it's Cad Bane, and I won't argue with it. But, he goes to the Jedi Temple, steals a holocron, because he's just smart like that, and, Palpatine sent him the map, too, that also helped him, and the security codes and all that shit. And they steal the holocron, got the Jedi younglings, all that shit. And then there's the Brain Invaders arc, or episode where the worms go in your brain and take over the ship. It's like a little horror episode. I love it. There's the Deserter episode where they are on that planet. I forgot why they were on the planet, but they were like, I think they were in the middle of a battle or whatever, and then Rex got shot, like he got hurt, and then like he ended up taking refuge at this cabin that just so happened to be an ex-clone who like ran away because he had a family or whatever, all that stuff. It was good because they ended up being friends at the end, and you like the character, and he comes back in the Bad Batch. It's great. And then you got the Lightsaber Lost episode where Ahsoka loses her lightsaber and she learns a valuable lesson of responsibility and just a lot of different lessons from, I forgot his name, but he's that old master that has the cane, and he's actually a really wise master. So she learned a lot of lessons from him in that episode. And then you got the Bounty Hunters episode where the Jedi team up with bounty hunters, which is just cool to see. And then you got the Zillo Beast arc where, you got the Zillo Beast who has like impenetrable armor, and Palpatine secretly wants to use it to make, I don't know if it's secretly, but like he wants to use it to make impenetrable clone armor. And then that's just like a really interesting arc because like they're trying to debate, like you got Mace Windu over here saying, like what the fuck, like Mace Windu like is usually like the guy who like doesn't give a fuck, but he steps up, he's like, hey man, like we can't be doing this to this animal. Like, you guys are over here torturing this animal. This is an animal. We disturbed it. Like, we disturbed it. We drove it out of its hole. We were bombing it. Like, so I love that episode. Those arcs, it's a really good arc actually. So yeah, and then you got the Boba Fett arc where Boba Fett tries to kill Mace Windu, and then he's like a little clone, and he comes back and on the ship, and he tries to kill Mace Windu, and he's unsuccessful, and they end up crash landing on the planet. It's pretty good. You got Aurra Sing. You gotta love Aurra Sing. It's good. And then coming in at last, but not least, it's good. I just don't like it as much as the other ones because of the rewatchability value. Season 6. I really only have like one arc in this season that I even like, and that's the Fives arc. Like, I like all the arcs, don't get me wrong. I mean, like, that I really like, because like usually every Clone Wars season has an arc that I like really like, and they have like a couple of them, to be honest. But this one just has that one arc, and then it has the Lost Ones episode about Sifo Dyas. And then all the other episodes, they're good to me, and I like them. I just don't love them like I love all the other episodes that I've been talking about this whole time. But yeah, the Lost Ones, you're investigating Sifo Dyas' death, and then the Jedi end up finding out that Count Dooku was behind making the clones. And then it's so interesting. You go back to Kessel, and you go like investigate the Pikes with Anakin and Obi-Wan. And then you got Fives arc, where of course Fives, one of the best characters in Clone Wars. He's freaking amazing. He literally figures out about Order 66 and the inhibitor chip in his brain. And, it's like a whole thing with Shaak Ti, and they're trying to investigate the whole episode. And it's just really interesting. It's honestly up there with some of the best Clone Wars stuff, too. That Fives arc is really good, man. It's just the only problem with Season 6 is my same problem with Season 7. It's even less with Season 6, though, because I like the episodes more in Season 7. Season 6 is just too short. Just too short. So yeah, long story short, I really love the Clone Wars, man. I love all the episodes. I will watch, even the ones I didn't talk about. I like the ones that are talking about the political side of Star Wars. I fuck with that shit because then it just shows me how the politics work and how everything works in the everyday life, Like, I just like Star Wars that much where I enjoy it, and I like spending time in the world, and the world of Star Wars just interests me. So yeah. Thank y'all for letting me talk with Star Wars about y'all. You already know the deal. Go to Kyle G to listen to my music. G safe. I'm out.